Tiberi Lucretii cari, de Rerum Natura, Lucretius on the Nature of Things. Beginning with Book 4, Liber Quartus. Prima Latina, de Anglice. Liber Quartus incipiam. Avia pieritum peragro locanulius ante trita solo, iuat integros accedere fontis, at quaurire iuatque novos decerpere flores, insigniemque meo capiti petere inde coronam, unde prius nulli velarin tempora musae, primum quod magnis doceo de rebus et artis religio animum nodis exulvere pergo, deinde quod obscura dere tam lucida pango, carmina musae ho contingens cuncta lepore. Id quoquenim non ab nulla ratione videtur, namve lute pueris absintia taetra medentes cum dare conantur, prius horas pocula circum contigunt mellis dulci flavoque liquore ut pueraetas improvida ludificetur, labrorum tenus, interi a perpotet amarum, absinti laeticem, deceptaque non capiatur, sed potius tali pacto recreata valescat, sic ego nunc, quoniam haec ratio plerumque videtur, tristior esse quibus non est tractata retroque vulgus abhorret ab hac, voluit tibi suavi loquenti carmine pierio ratione exponere nostram, et quasi musae o dulci contingere mella, si tibi fortanimum tali ratione tenere, versibus in nostris possem dum perspicis omnem naturam reruc ac per sentis utilitatem. A pathless country of the Pierides I traverse, where no other foot has ever trod. I love to approach virgin springs and there to drink. I love to pluck fresh flowers and to seek an illustrious chaplet for my head from fields, whence ere the muses this have crowned the brows of none. First, because my teaching is of high matters, and I proceed to set free the mind from the close knots of superstition. Next, because the subject is so dark, and the verses I write so clear, touching every part with the muse's grace. For even this seems not to be out of place, but as with children, as when their physicians try to administer rank wormwood, they first touch the rim of the cups, all about with the sweet yellow fluid, like honey, that unthinking childhood may thus be deluded as far as the lips, and meanwhile they may drink up the bitter juice of wormwood, and though beguiled, be not betrayed, but rather by such means be restored and regain their health. So now do I, since this doctrine commonly seems somewhat harsh to those of you who've not used it, and the people shrink back from it. I have chosen to set forth my doctrine to you in sweet-speaking Pierian song, and as it were to touch it with the muse's delicious honey. If perchance in such a way I might engage your mind in my verses while you are learning to understand the whole nature of things and to perceive their utility. At quoniam docui natura quid esit, et quibus e rebus cum corpore compta vigeret, quoe modo distracta, rediret in ordia prima, nunc ager incipiam tibi, quod vementur ad hastres attinet, esse ea quae rerum simulacra vocamus. Quae quasi membrae sumo de corpore rerum de reptae, volitant utroque citroque per auras, atqueadam nobis vigilantibus obvia mentes terrificant atquin somnis, cum saepe figuras, condui murmiras, simulacraque luce carentem, quae nos horrificae languetis saepis oppore excierunt, ne fort animas acerunte reamur, e fugeraut umbras inter vivos volitare. Ne valiquid nostri post mortem possere linqui, cum corpus simul atquanimi natura perempta in sua disce sum dederint primordia quaeque. Now, since I've explained what is the nature of the mind, and from what elements it takes its strength when combined with the body, how when torn away from the body it returns to its first elements, you shall now see me begin to deal with what is of high importance for the subject, and to show that there exist what we call images, or simulacra, of things which, like films drawn from the outermost surface of things, flit about hither and thither through the air. It is these same that, encountering us in wakeful hours, terrify our minds, as also in sleep, when we often seem to behold wonderful shapes and images of the dead, which have often aroused us in horror while we lay languid in sleep, lest by chance we should think that spirits escape from Acheron, or ghosts flit about amongst the living, or that anything of us can be left after death, when body and mind, both taken off together, have dissolved abroad, each into its own first beginnings. Dique giturrere ficias tenuisque figuras, mitirab rebus summo de corpore rerum, quae quasi membranae vel cortex nomini tandast, quod speci ac formam similem gerit eius imago, cuius cumque cluet de corpore fussa vagari, id licet quam vis ebeti cognoscere corde, principi oquani amittunt in rebus apertis corpora res multae, partim diffusa salute, robera ceo fumum mittunt ignesque vaporem, et partim contexte magis condesacut olim cum teritis ponunt tunicas aestate cicadae, et vituli cum membranas de corpore sumo nascentes mittunt, et item cum lubrica serpens exuit in spinis vestem. Nam saepe videmus illorum spoliis vepres volitantibus auctas, quae quoniam fiunt, tenuis quoque debit imago, ab rebus miti summo de corpore rerum. Nam cur illa catant magis ab rebusque recetant, quam quae tenui sunt, hiscendist nulla potestas praesertim eum, cum sint in summis corpore rebus multa minuta iaci quae possint ordine odem, quo fuerint et formae servare figuram, et multo citius quanto minus indopediri paucqueunt et sunt in prima fronte locata. Nam certe iacerac lageri multa videmus, non sol ex alto penituscut diximus ante verum de summis ipsum quoque saepe colorem, et vulgo faciunt id lutea russaque vella, et ferrugina, cum magnis intentate atris per malus vulgator trabesque trementi afflutant, namque ibi congessum cave ae subterret omnem scaenae speciem, patrum coetumque tectorum inficiunt coguntque suo fluitare colore. Et quanto circum mages suntis clausa teatri moenia tam magis haec intus perfusa lepore omnia conrident correpta luce diei. Ergo lintea de sumo cum corpore fucum mittunt efficias quoque debent mitre tenuis. Res quaeque ex sumo quoniam iaculantur utraque sunt igitur iam formarum vestigia certa, quae vulgo volitant subtili praedita filo nec singilatim possunt secreta videri. praetere omnis odor fumus vapor atqualiares consimilis ideo defuse rebus abundant, ex alto quiadum veneunt, extrinsecus ortae scinduntur per iter flexum, nec recta viarum ostia sunt qua contentant exire coortae. At contra tenui summi membrana coloris cum iacitur nil est quod eam discerpere possit, in promptu quonia est, in prima fronte locata. Postremo speculis in aqua splendor requit omni quae cum quapere nobis simulacra neces est. Quanto quitem simili species sunt praedita rerum extima imaginibus missis consistere rerum. Sunt igitur tenues formae rerum similesque efficiae singulatium quas cernere nemo composit tamen adsiduo crebroque repulsu reiectae redunt speculor ex aequore visum. Nec ration alia servari posse videntur, tant operut similes redantur quique figurae. Where did I start? I say, therefore, that semblances and thin shapes of things are thrown off from their outer surface, which are to be called, as it were, their films or bark, because the image bears a look and shape like the body of that which is shed to go on its way. This can be recognized by the dullest brain from what follows. In the first place, since amongst visible things many throw off bodies, sometimes loosely diffused abroad, as wood throws off smoke, and as fire heat, sometimes more close-knit and condensed, as often when cicadas drop their thin coats in summer, as when calves at birth throw off their cowl from their outermost surface, and also when the slippery serpent casts off his vesture amongst the thorns. For we often see the brambles enriched with their flying spoils. Since these things happen, a thin image must also be thrown off from all things, from the outermost surface. Why thin films should not fall off and be thrown from things as much as those others, no one could whisper a reason, especially since there are numerous minute bodies on the outermost side of things, which can be cast off in the same arrangement they were in before, preserving the shape of the object, and far more quickly, as being few and less able to be impeded, and lying on the very outside. For assuredly we see many things cast off particles with lavish bounty, not only from the depths and from within, as I said before, but from the outermost surface, amongst others color, not seldom. This is often done by yellow and red and purple awnings, when outspread in the public view over a great theatre. Upon posts and beams they tremble and flutter, for then they die, and force to flutter in their own color the assembly in the great hollow below, and all the display of the stage, and the stately company of the fathers, and the more the walls of the theatre are enclosed by them all round, the more all within laughs in the flood of beauty when the light of day is thus confined. Therefore, since canvas throws off color from its outermost surface, everything else must also cast off semblances, thin, because in each case they throw off from their outermost surface. There are therefore fixed outlines and shapes of finest texture which flit about everywhere, but singly and separately cannot be seen. Besides, all smell, smoke, heat, and other such things stream away from objects all diffused abroad, for this reason, because they arise from the depths, and as they come forth they are torn up in their tortuous course, there being no direct openings to the paths to let them push out together when they have gathered together. But contrariwise, when a thin film of surface color is thrown off, there is nothing to tear it up, since it lies in front and on the very outside. Lastly, whatever similitudes we see in mirrors, in water, in any bright surface, since they are possessed of the same outward appearance of things, must consist of images thrown off from those things. There are therefore thin shapes and like semblances of things which singly no one can perceive, yet being flung back by incessant and unremitting repulsion gives back a vision from the surface of mirrors. Nor does there seem to be any other way in which they could be preserved, so that figures so like each thing should be given back. Nunc age quam tenui natura constet imago percipe, et in primis quoniam primordia tantum sunt infra nostro sensus tantoque minora, quam quae primo coliqueptant non possetueri nunc tamen id quocuti confirmem exordia rerum, cunctarum quam sint subtilia percipe paucis. Prima animalia sunt iam partem tantula quorum tertia pars nulla possit ratione videri, hor intestinum quodvis qual esse putandumst, quid cortis globus aut oculi, quid membra, quid artus, quantula sunt, quid praeteria primordia quaeque, und animat quanimi constet natura necessumst, nonne vides quam sint subtilia, quamque minuta, praeteri quaecumque suo de corporotorum, expirant acrem, panacres absintia taetra habrotonique graves, et tristia centaria, quorunum quidvis leviter si forte duobus. Quin potius noscas rerum simulacre vagari multa modis multis nullavi cassaque sensu. Sed ne forte putes eademum sola vagari, quaecumque ab rebus rerum simulacre decedunt, sunt etiam quae sponta sua giguntur et ipsa constituuntur in hoc caelo, qui dicitur aer. Quae multis formata modis sublime feruntur, nec speciem mutare suam liquentia cessant, et quisque modi formarum verter in horas, ut nubes facil intertum congrescer in alto cernimus, et mundi speciem violare serenam, aere mulcentes mutu, nam saepe gigantum ore volare videntur, et umbram ducere late, inter dum magni montes, avus aque saxa, montibus antierit solem succede per praeter, indale ostra herat quinducere bellua nimbus. Now listen, and hear how thin the structure of this image is. And in the first place, since the first beginnings are so far below our senses, and so much smaller than the point at which our eyes begin not to be able to see, now to confirm this further, let me explain in a few words how fine are the elements of all things. Firstly, there are some living creatures so small that their third part cannot possibly be seen. What must you suppose one of their guts is like? The ball of the heart, or the eyes, or the limbs and the members? How small are they? What further of the first beginnings which must compose the nature of mind and spirit? Do you not see how fine and how minute they are? Besides, anything that exhales a pungent smell from its body, heal all, rank wormwood, strong southern wood, astringent centaury, any one of which is perchance you may lightly touch with 2 fingertips, but that you should rather recognize that many similitudes are moving about in many ways, without power, exciting no sensation. The manuscript was damaged, so there are lines missing, so not a complete thought. But he continues. But that you may not think these images which pass off from things to be the only ones that move about, There are others which arise of themselves, and are formed by themselves in this part of the sky called the air, which, formed in many ways, are carried aloft, and melting incessantly, change their shapes, and turn themselves into the outlines of all manner of figures, as we often see clouds quickly massing together on high, and marring the serene face of the firmament, while they caress the air with their motion. For often giants' countenances appear to fly over and to draw their shadow afar, sometimes great mountains and rocks torn from the mountains to go before and to pass by the sun. After them some monster pulling and dragging other clouds. Nunc equam facilet, celeri ratione genantur perpetuoque fluant ab rebus lapsaque quicedant. Semper enim summum quicquid de rebus abundant quod iacolentur, et hoc alias cum pervenit in res, transitut in primis vitrum, sed ub aspera saxa aut in materiem ling pervenit, ibi iam scinditurut nullum simulacrum redere posset, et cum splendida quae constat opposta fuerunt densacut in primis speculumst nil acciditorum. Nam nec uti vitrum potis est transire nequautem scindiquam meminit levor praestare salutem, qua propter fitut hinc nobis simulacra redundent, et quam vis subito quovis in tempore quamque rem contra speculum ponnas, aperet imago perpetuo fluerut noscas, e corpore sumo texturas remum tenuisque figuras. Ergo multa brevis patio simulacra genuntur, ut meritu celerhis rebus dicatur rigo, et quasi multa brevis patio summitere debet lumina sol ut perpetuo sint omnia plena, sic ab rebus item simili ratione necessit temporis in puncto rerum simulacra ferantur, multa modis multis in cunctas undique partis, quando quidem speculum quocum quo vertimus oris res ibi respondent simili formatque colore. Now let me tell you how easily and quickly these images arise, constantly flowing off from things and gliding away. For there is always something streaming from the outermost surface of things for them to shoot off, and this, when it meets something, passes through, particularly through glass. But when it meets rough stone or solid wood, there at once it is broken so that it can give back no image. But when the opposed object is bright and compact, as particularly a mirror, nothing happens of the sort, for it cannot pass through as through glass, nor again can it be broken. So much safety the smoothness never forgets to afford. Wherefore what follows, that the image streams back thence upon us. And no matter how suddenly you place any object before a mirror at any time, its image appears, so that you may recognize that there is a constant flow from the surface of things of thin textures and thin shapes. Therefore many images arise in brief space, so that there is good reason to call the origin of these things rapid. And even as the sun must send up many lights in brief space, that the whole space may be full of them without a break, so in like manner from things also it must needs be that in a moment of time many images pass off in many ways, and in all directions everywhere, since in whatever direction we turn the mirror to the shapes of things, something answers back of like form and color. I'm starting to get tired and lose my voice, so I will stop right there. Those were the first 168 lines of the fourth book of Lucretius on the nature of things. Very, very dense reading, whichever language you pick. Valete, amici. Gratias pro spectantibus. Sic semper.